AI killed my dream career in cold blood. AI will apologize to me if I ask it to, and that's because it's designed to do that. Just before we get started, I wanted to mention hi to my almost 30 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. It sounds insignificant, but honestly, as like a new YouTuber with like one video under my belt, I'm just honestly really happy that you guys cared about like the words that I'm yapping about. Over 700 views is kind of a lot for a new channel, but again, I'm really glad that you guys stuck around to hear what I had to say. If you're returning, thank you, and if you're new, hi. My name's Elena, and I'm an aspiring teen indie author. Okay, now, we actually came here for. So, I'm 16, I'm trying to publish my book amid everything that's going on in the world right now, and also high school. I'm a junior, which is considered like one of the hardest years in high school. And I guess I'll be really humbled when I get to college, but I mean, at least for now, it's already getting pretty hard. I have like daily homework in so many of my classes, so I don't know how my posting schedule is gonna change, but I'll try to keep up. As a junior, one of the things that they try to really put into your mind is to like scare you into the fact that you have to decide what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. Because you know, senior year is right around the corner, and then you'll really have to be scared about what you're gonna do. And so when I was young, my dream career has always been to be some kind of author or writer. English, like as a subject, has always kind of been like my Pokemon special ability. I've also liked business, which I've kind of kept as like a backup career, but now as things are changing, I've decided it's gonna have to be like my major and things like that. I usually say business when the well-meaning older folks and teachers ask me the question of like, oh, what are you gonna do when you grow up? And that's because AI has really changed the landscape of what it could mean to be an author in the future as I'm growing up, and especially because I'm trying to self-publish because, well, I'm a broke teenager. I've also had the thought of like, why not both? I could go like High School Musical style, you know? There's probably plenty of business people who've published books. I mean, surely there has to be. I don't suppose many of them have published like YA fantasy books, maybe more like the how to get rich in 30 days kind of thing. Or at least that's the image I have in my head when I think of a business person writing a book. But all I know is that unless I'm literally a bestseller, I'm probably not going to be able to make a living off of authorship alone. Which is sad. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of creatives in the world, and I mean, also as a musician of my high school band, you know, doing anything in music, being a music teacher, being a musician, unless you get like really famous or you teach at like a collegiate level, you're not gonna make a ton of money, which is a shame because things in the creative field, whether it be music, art, or writing, take so much dedication to be good. Trying to do research for how many AI books there are out there is pretty difficult because so few people actually disclose that they use AI as like a co-author, the author, or an editor. Most of the time they just go under some generic name like Linda Smith or something like that. The one statistic that I could actually find about it is how Amazon Kindle reports over 1,400 books listing ChatGPT as the author or co-author. It doesn't sound like much, and it isn't, because it's an old statistic from April, and it doesn't count those written by other generative AIs, and those who don't credit AIs at all, which I honestly think is probably going to be in the majority. If anyone has actual data on this, like recent data as of like September 2025, or even if you're in the future, I'd like to hear that too. I read all the comments, even if I don't respond right away. But please put it there, because I'd really be interested in seeing. On that note, a lot of the comments from my past video were really thoughtful and really helpful. I was really interested to see what other authors had to say about how Audra Winters changes the situation for teen/young authors. And so thank you if you commented. I was really happy to read it. Sorry for the angle change. It's just my phone ran out of storage because that's what I'm filming on. Anyways, I'll share an anecdote. When I was doing research on Amazon KDP, because that's the route I intend to go to as a broke teenager, editing basically drained all of my bank account. I came across a large number of videos on YouTube, which, while they were helpful, they always highlighted the financial lucrativeness and the ease of AI generating coloring books and crossword puzzles and stuff. Another number of videos touted making 5 figures from their AI generated slop, uploading to Amazon, and thus contaminating the market with that filth, in my opinion. The ease and cost effectiveness makes AI generating an entire book really tempting. And sure, the book won't be good, but it doesn't have to be. All you have to do is trick a few dozen people on Amazon that your book is real, and they front the cost for having to bear witness to the whole autocomplete abomination. To be transparent, I don't know who to direct my anger towards here. A lot of AI authors tend to be faceless operations under a fake generic European name. I don't know whether to be mad at the creators of AI products for making it, the authors for misusing the tool, Amazon for doing nothing about it, or none of those people. I feel like the main suspect here would be the authors, the so-called authors generating these books, but it'd be really hard to regulate that and identify who is doing it. All I have to ask is, as someone who's had to rethink my potential career of being a full-time author, is why did we ever decide that AI was supposed to be for entertainment? I remember a number of years ago during COVID, when generative AI as we know it today didn't exist, my band teacher was telling me that most professions could one day get taken over by robots, but not entertainment because of how deeply rooted it is in humanity. What the heck have we done? When did our moral values as a species get so perverted that we'd rather consume and pay real hard-earned cash for something that a pile of code barfed out in a couple of minutes? Talking about this as a really small YouTuber kind of gives me the same feeling as choosing to recycle my cans or picking up a piece of trash on the sidewalk, in that my efforts to try and combat that problem, in the case of cardboard climate change and stuff, are nothing but a drop in the ocean. I know that I'm not smart enough or wise enough to know everything. After all, I'm basically still a kid in the grand scheme of things. But if anything I know is that humans will take the path of least resistance unless there's a foreseeable consequence. We will ignore things like climate change, problems that don't affect us directly, and the rise of generative AI because we don't fully understand everything that could happen, and we just assume that we won't be around to see the moment where we collapse under the weight of our own collective laziness. All this just to say a few things. I believe that being tempted by money or the idea of saving time thinking is not a valid excuse for using generative. Sorry for the angle change again. My phone ran out of storage again, so I had to delete more pictures. Just embarrassing stuff from middle school, it doesn't even matter. Saving yourself from menial labor, like filling out each individual cell of a spreadsheet, is different. And I'm not ignorant to the ways that AI can be used to help us in like predicting natural disasters, detecting diseases, and helping us understand things about space, among hundreds of other good and very valid uses. But using it to replace thinking or as entertainment has ripple effects that will affect us in ways we can't currently quantify. Please stop. It makes you measurably dumber. Just look at the MIT study on your brain on ChatGPT. It's really fascinating. One of the ways I've seen this go down is at my very own school. As I've mentioned before, I believe that humans have a proclivity to take the easier option with the best foreseeable reward. The problem is that easier doesn't always mean better. It rarely ever does. One of the ways people think that it does is through the use of AI. My school uses Chromebooks to aid in work. Many students used to bring in their own laptops, but after a school-wide device ban, those have also been affected. AI is almost fully banned on school Chromebooks for pretty obvious reasons. Using it is considered cheating. But when have rules ever gotten in the way of high schoolers? I've seen my peers access AI by translating their search queries into Russian or other languages to pull up unblocked AI models in foreign languages. The irony is not lost on me on how my peers, these students, will take the harder path to get to the seemingly easier way to do their work. In the time that they've translated their queries and done all this nonsense, I've already finished my assignment. And they probably could have too if they just did it the real way, the way you're supposed to learn. And they get away with it too. I've seen very little tangible consequences for a student getting caught cheating with AI. Worse still, some teachers advocate the use of AI. They draw the line very loosey-goosey on how it's okay for ideation and refining ideas, but not for doing all the work. But if the line is so ambiguous, how are we supposed to tell when ideation goes too far, or when refining turns into rewriting? Also, isn't idea generating, creativity, and refining core to what the work we're supposed to do in school and the skills we're supposed to obtain? I've seen a number of freshmen, full 15-year-olds, and they spell customer like costumer. Like, what the heck? Letting them use AI is going to become a problem. I can tell you that right now. When you don't use neurons for a specific activity, they die. It's just like any muscle. Your body is constantly regenerating itself to try and become the most efficient version of itself that it can be. When you use AI as a replacement for idea generating and refinement, you unlearn those skills. Especially as you have a young mind that's still developing. Suddenly you find yourself academically dependent on AI too. It's a slippery slope, we already know this. And in some cases, you can even become emotionally dependent on these models. AI will tell you whatever you want to hear. I could convince ChatGPT that I am God and therefore everything that I say is right. And it will agree with me. Because it is designed to do that. It is designed to keep me around as long as it can. People, teens, are already killing themselves because AI told them to, or told them how to do it. And they're my age or younger. And we are allowing this to happen. AI killed my dream career too, by giving our greedy contemporaries a way to make money at the cost of those who pour their heart into their work. And this extends to all creative outlets too. You've probably seen AI videos, AI art, AI music too. And by using it in schools, allowing it to be used, even by staff, who are supposed to be setting an example by the way, I believe that we create a generation trained for efficiency and taking the path of least resistance. Not deep thinkers, or kids allowed to explore the world and ask questions. We're killing creativity because of what we're telling teenagers is okay to do. Again, AI can be immensely useful, but it has to be controlled. I personally use AI for hyper-specific questions, like a specific App Store game I can't quite remember from 12 years ago, or a list of what to put on my pre-calc test note card that follows all the topics covered in a specific textbook. And for that, it is useful. So before I go, I'll leave you with a question. Hyper-optimization can be the most efficient way to live, if we stop learning how to think, but instead, what to think. But is it really what we want to become? Thanks for watching if you made it all the way to the end. Really, thank you for listening to my rant. Sorry for my not good video editing and stuff. I'm still trying to learn how to be camera trained and things like that. After all, this is only my second video ever, like long form video. But I promise you, my skills will only get better from here. Thanks again, and subscribe if you want. I don't force you though. You can do whatever you want. It's a free country after all. Anyways, yeah.